You're tuned in to Pyrocryptic X News, daily crypto coverage on the networks that matter. XRP, XLM, XDC, and many others. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Pyrocryptic News. Our main story today, and it's a big one for XRP holders and traders. XRP futures have just been listed on Coinbase Derivatives.
That's right. This went live today, April 21st, 2025, on their U.S. derivatives exchange.
And crucially, these aren't just any futures contracts. They're regulated by the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the CFTC.
Yeah, and that's a really important detail, that CFTC oversight brings a level of legitimacy. You know, it potentially opens the door for investors, especially institutions who need that kind of regulatory framework in place.
Absolutely. Coinbase is really pushing that angle too, saying this offers a regulated and maybe more capital-efficient path for people to get exposure to XRP.
Which they describe as one of the most liquid digital assets out there.
Right, and they're not just offering one-size-fits-all here. There are standard contracts, quite large at 10,000 XRP, but also these nano contracts. Those represent 500 XRP each. So what, about $1,000 at today's prices? Makes it much more accessible, doesn't it?
It really does. That nano contract lowers the barrier significantly. You know, maybe for retail traders who felt priced out by the bigger contracts before, it could definitely bring more diverse participation into the market. It's quite a smart move, strategically.
And it feels like part of a pattern, right?
Yeah.
I mean, back in February, Coinbase Derivatives added futures for Solana and Hedera, SOL and HBAR.
Exactly. This XRP listing seems like the next logical step in that expansion. They're clearly building out their crypto derivatives offerings pretty systematically.
Which fits into the wider picture we've seen since, 2024. You've got Coinbase, Robinhood, even the CME, all adding more crypto futures.
Definitely. There's strong demand from investors, clearly, and the regulated exchanges are responding. It shows, I think, crypto becoming more integrated into, well, more traditional financial product structures.
Okay, so maybe for folks less familiar, a futures contract is basically a standard agreement, right? To buy or sell something, XRP in this case, at a set price on a future date.
Correct. And people use them for essentially two main reasons. Hedging is one, like ensuring your current XRP holdings against price drops.
And the other is speculation. Trying to profit by guessing if the price goes up or down, often using leverage.
And that leverage point is critical. It can amplify your gains, yes, but it just as easily amplifies losses. So it's powerful, but definitely risky. Even with these smaller nano contracts, the risk is still very real.
Good point. It's also interesting to look at Coinbase's broader derivatives play. Their international exchange has tons of derivatives tied to maybe 92 assets.
Yeah, a huge range. Their U.S. offering was smaller, but this adds significantly to it. They already had some crypto like Dogecoin plus oil, gold.
But this XRP listing really beefs up the U.S. crypto side. And didn't they see some massive growth in derivatives volume last year?
Oh, staggering growth. Reports said something like a 10,950% increase in 2024. That kind of number tells you why they're pushing so hard in this area.
And there were those whispers about them maybe looking to acquire Deribit.
Those reports surfaced. If true, that would be a huge move to consolidate their position in the derivatives market. It aligns with everything else they're doing.
It all tracks back to when they launched the U.S. Derivatives Exchange in 2022. The goal then was, well, exactly this, bringing crypto futures, including the nano ones, to more U.S. users.
Yeah, this feels like a major milestone towards that original goal.
And we should probably give some context on XRP itself. The XRP ledger is one of the older blockchains, isn't it? Launched way back in 2012.
That's right, quite established, focused primarily on payments and institutional DeFi applications. And it's certainly not small. Market cap today is around $120 billion, according to CoinMarketCap.
And of course, the elephant that finally left the room. The SEC lawsuit against Ripple, the main developer behind the XRP ledger.
Yes, the SEC dropped that case back in March, the one alleging securities law violations. That was hanging over XRP for a long time.
You have to think that resolution played a part here, right? Getting that legal uncertainty cleared up.
Almost certainly. That regulatory cloud was a major barrier, especially for regulated entities like Coinbase offering products in the U.S. With that resolved, it likely made this listing much more straightforward.
So, wrapping this up, this listing on Coinbase Derivatives, a regulated U.S. platform, it's pretty significant. It offers new, regulated ways for U.S. investors to interact with XRP.
Definitely. And coming after the SEC case resolution, it could really influence perception and trading activity around XRP. Investors now have a regulated tool within the US for hedging or speculating.
And having both the standard and the nano contracts really opens it up to a wider range of people, from big institutions to smaller retail traders.
It'll be interesting to see how this increased accessibility via derivatives impacts XRP's liquidity and overall market dynamics going forward. What does this signal for XRP's deeper integration into the financial system? That's the next question, perhaps.
That's it for today on Pyrocryptic X News. Stay sharp, stay informed, and catch the next drop right here.